Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. It's trouble times for RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. In fact, those troubles are mounting by the day. Now, what was that story which hijacked the entire day today? And that was that this X account of the American Hindus for Engagement and Dialogue, whose acronym is AHEAD, and that is the organization which is supporting the upcoming Universal Oneness celebration in New York, featuring RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. Now, X account of AHEAD Forum was blocked, and then AHEAD Forum had appealed to X, after which there was a whole lot of halabaloo. There were a lot of reactions coming from the social media. In fact, the government went to the extent of saying that this is something between RSS and X, and they have to resolve. This is what Meti said. And the sources in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology told Times Now that the matter is between X and RSS and not between the tech firm and the government. So the government really washed off its hands, and they didn't want to get into this controversy. But as we are live, it's morning time now in New York, and the news just coming in that the AHEAD Forum X handle has been restored. And you can see this on the screen. We are back up. We got botted by misguided opponents who tried to game the X algorithm and get our handle blocked. A big thank you to X@support for the prompt response, restoring our account and clearing out the bots. Now back to what really matters, celebrating universal harmony and universal oneness. And this is what they have tweeted. So it was just not this X account which was blocked and is now restored, but as far as the US IRF is concerned, the US Commission on International Religious and Freedom, they came out with a fresh press release urging the US government to implement targeted sanctions against the members of the RSS and specific Indian officials. In fact, if you look at the press release carefully, they didn't even target RSS, but they went beyond and spoke about this entire 12 years of Modi and Shah's governance. They spoke about CEA, they spoke about NRC, they spoke about the way mob lynchings are happening and how minorities are targeted. Then they said that beyond the borders, the Sikh community is being targeted. So it was quite a heavy attack on the way Prime Minister Modi has been ruling India for the last 12 years. It was a hard-hitting press release, but coming as it does, just one day before the main event, that is 29th of August. Tomorrow is the event, and the protests still continue outside the Madison Square Garden. Now in Canada, what we have come to know, some more than 40 organizations have said that they will deny entry to RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat. More than 40 organizations have got together, and those 40 organizations are supported by many Canadian MPs as well. And they are saying that we will not let Mohan Bhagwat enter Canada. Now, if you talk about the Canada event, that's going to play out on 31st and 1st of September. So immediately after Mohan Bhagwat wraps up from New York, he will be going to Canada. And that's what the itinerary says. And he's already facing a lot of brickbats in New York. Then again, he has to face a lot of opposition in Canada as well. And then the third country he's visiting is United Kingdom. So is it going to be easy for Mohan Bhagwat? That's question number one. What if the New York event somehow, we don't know, but there's a lot of pressure on the streets. And if you have seen the visuals, which we showed yesterday as well, there was a lot of opposition. The protesters are still protesting outside the Madison Square Garden and saying that they've likened RSS to organizations like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They say that their hands are bloodstained and they were responsible. And they've called RSS, in fact, the Indian Nazis. That's what the kind of expression we saw from the various protesters. So the sentiment is very much against Mohan Bhagwat. But even then, despite that, he's going to be addressing a gathering of 5,000 people at the Madison Square Garden. So is it going to be easy? Or will it be very difficult? Zohra Mamdani yesterday had said that I don't support this RSS rally, but it's not in the jurisdiction to cancel this private event. But there could be other ways of putting roadblocks to this to this event. Like, say, for example, we saw, though the Ahead Forum has said that it was the account was botted up, but what if there are various other means of putting pressure on the organizers? Maybe that could be one which had paid out during the day, and now, thank God, the account has been restored. So will Mohan Bhagwat be able to conduct the function at New York? How is it going to be with him at Canada and also United Kingdom? Are the troubles really mounting? But Sunil Ambekar, who is the RSS leader, has put out a tweet this morning, and he's very gung-ho, and in fact quite spirited about this event coming up in New York. And he says, Universal Oneness celebration in New York exemplifies an interfaith gathering where RSS Sarsang Chalak Dr. Mohan Bhagwat ji will communicate with diverse, multicultural and multi-faith audience. Organized in the spirit of open dialogue and mutual respect, the event reflects Bharatiya ethos, which is fundamentally inclusive and welcoming to all. This initiative is in line with long-standing tradition of engagement by RSS with varied communities across India and the world, fostering understanding and shared purpose. We invite anyone interested in learning more about the RSS vision and philosophy to participate in these open forums of dialogue. So it's not going to be easy. Now look at this. The Hindu American Foundation, they put out a community advisory alert saying that the Hindu American Foundation is issuing the security alert in advance of the Universal Oneness celebration of Madison Square Garden in New York City. Stay vigilant, remain situationally aware, and keep interactions civil. Ahead of the event, activists targeting Hindu Americans have attempted to disrupt and cancel the celebration. We urge the New York Mayor, Zohran Mamdani, to uphold his sworn duty to protect all New Yorkers, including event attendees, and guarantee everyone's safety and civil rights. So could there be, now looking at this advisory, could there be a law and order problem? What kind of a problem is it for Trump? Is Trump really bothered? I'm sure he's watching all the protests which are playing out on the streets of New York. How is it going to be? To understand all this, joining me this evening is Dr. Muqtedar Khan, academician, and also he has his own YouTube, a very popular YouTube channel called Conversations. Dr. Khan is there. He joins us from Delaware. Thank you so much for joining, Dr. Khan. And what a dramatic day. The X handle of Ahead Forum was blocked. Now it's restored. And the kind of backlash we saw on the social media, people saying that now we'll not allow the left organizations to conduct functions in India, let their visas not be given clearances. And now it's time that X should be banned and we should have our own social media. There were reactions like that. What would you say? What was really playing out? And why do you think that X account was blocked?
Thank you very much for having me, Nilu. The X account probably was blocked because there were some complaints filed by lots of people saying that these people are spreading hate. And so the initial algorithm kicked in and they did it. I definitely think that it was restored probably by the intervention of the US government. A lot of Western media, such as YouTube, X, WhatsApp, because of just the sheer size of the Indian population, all of them make a lot of money in India, so they do not want to upset. And if you remember, the founder of Facebook apologized within 72 hours after there was complaints about them blocking one of Prime Minister Modi's posts. So, but what I find a bit ironic is that this particular X account, I think, has been just created for this event, so that people don't see what other kind of posts RSS is posting. So they created a special account. It has only 2,000 plus followers, and only the posts are only about this event and nothing else. So, but what I find fascinating about it is the fact that they are talking about oneness and, trying to push forward the Vasudeva Kutumbakam agenda. First of all, people should know that RSS excludes half of humanity straight away. There are no women in RSS. Okay, this is a male-only organization. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that men are in minority in the world. So they exclude a majority of people. So there's no inclusion or universality or oneness when RSS comes. And then beyond that, it excludes religions. Its very vision of India is exclusionary. And I think that contradicts the very spirit of New York. People don't understand that Mamdani's victory is such an amazing testimony to the spirit of inclusion and tolerance. The thing that RSS leader wants to talk about is the thing that New Yorkers practice every day in their life. I can guarantee you, one of the most interesting, in a Law and Order episode, there were two people talking in some language. And the cop turns around and says, "Can anybody tell me what language is this?" And there are enough foreigners in New York to say, "Oh, that is Armenian," and one guy volunteers to translate. So anywhere in New York, you will find people from all over the world. This is the most embracing, accepting. And so for somebody who is so exclusionary, so intolerant of women, of minorities, etc., to go there, is trying to perpetrate a fraud upon Americans. And that is, I think, it's an unethical thing. If he wants to be inclusive, he should do it at home.
Right. Dr. Khan, those are strong words coming from you. You're saying that this is like perpetuating fraud on America. And I'm sure the New Yorkers realize it very well. But if the function goes ahead, can we foresee some sort of a law and order problem, like the security alert which has been given? Do you preempt that there could be some law and order problem there?
Not really. That's not going to happen. The only chances are if there is, I don't know whether you saw similar episodes in Melbourne, in Australia, where there were fights within the Indian diaspora. Even in New Zealand, you saw literally street fights between Sikhs and Hindus, and then you saw the same fights in Canada. I don't think it will come to that. Mamdani will make sure that there's enough police presence there so that he does not want this episode to be marred, because then the discussion will shift away from what RSS is to who New Yorkers are, right? But I think the provocation...
There are possibilities like of the street brawl you're talking about.
Yeah. Because there will be protesters outside, right? They'll be standing there with signs. And you have already seen signs comparing them to the Nazis, etc. So there will be a lot of provocative posters. There's no doubt about it. The Gandhi killers is the most common placard that you see all the time. I mean, RSS can complain till they are blue that no, his membership had expired.
Not to forget that billboard truck which is going around.
Yeah, Nathuram Godse sent us an email withdrawing his membership before he shot Gandhiji. They can say that much as they like, but the posters are there saying Gandhi killers, and stuff like that. So it could upset somebody who are coming in. But I think if RSS is trying to pretend to be a highly inclusive, tolerant, etc., then their supporters will have to be on the best behavior, at least for this event, because there's a lot more attention here than there would have been.
There is a certain angle of duplicity, not certain, but large angle of duplicity, because back home in India, they espouse for divisiveness, polarization, hatred. And there, when they go on the foreign soil, they are talking about unity, they are talking about multicultural and multi-faith. How will the people of America take Mohan Bhagwat, even if it is the diaspora, because they can see through what RSS stands for?
The problem is not that, look, a lot of people in America are probably ignorant about RSS, but they know about Hindu nationalism. Now, Hindu nationalism has an abbreviation, which is RSS. They will talk about it. They will talk about the intolerance. And to compound things, the UN issued a statement just 2 days ago about discriminatory policies. And if you look at the executive summary, they're basically talking about what Hemanta Basu was doing in Assam. I mean, you have BJP chief ministers campaigning on the promise of discriminating against minorities. I'm saying we will make their life so difficult that they will not live in our states. And these are one thing that Americans must understand is not to look at RSS in isolation. RSS, after all, is not even a registered organization, right? It has no legal status. What they must look at it as, it is the core
Not registered in India, but of course registered very well in America.
In the US. Yes, yes. But what is interesting is that it is the core of the Hindutva ecosystem. So it has all kinds of fronts. The BJP is its political front. Then the Bajrang Dal is its, nasty front on the streets, the thugs on the streets. And then it has Vishwa Hindu Parishad, Mahasabha. All of these are part and parcel of the ideology of Hindu supremacy that RSS promotes. And I think that is something. What I think RSS has done is inadvertently, I think, to promote Mohan Bhagwat's image, and I think to recruit the diaspora, the wealthy diaspora, and actually take money from them. I think RSS has inadvertently drawn attention to itself, to Hindu nationalism, to the dangers and intolerance of Hindu nationalism, and especially in conjunction with the FCRA law that is being amended in India. I think Hindu nationalists will find friends neither on the right nor on the left, because they're beginning to realize that just as Jewish nationalism oppresses Christians in the Holy Land, Hindu nationalism, even though it is a right-wing movement and conservative, is also anti-Christian. So Donald Trump and his party, especially people like Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Tucker Carlson, these people are all profoundly aware of the anti-Christian sentiment of Hindu nationalism. And I think there will be more and more coverage going forward. I think these two visits by RSS leaders, Dattatreya Hasbale, the number 2 guy who came, and he was, the National Public Radio did an interview with him. And the poor guy, he was really handled very badly. He did not know that the host was doing more editorializing than actually interviewing him. And he ended up telling the entire history of RSS, connected them to the assassination of Gandhiji and all other atrocities, including terrorist activities and bomb explosions in India, if you look at NPR's interview. So I think that this is probably going to do. RSS is a shadowy organization. It should remain in the shadows. It should be India's shame, India's guilt, and India should hide it, not expose it, because what RSS is doing is damaging India's image. It is damaging the image of India's democracy, and India has a reputation of cultural pluralism. What you
said, Dr. Khan, you said that RSS is a shame and it should remain in the shadows because it harms the reputation of India. But what after this New York event? I'm sure all the pictures will come out, and RSS will be gung-ho about the fact that, look, we addressed an international gathering at New York. What bigger achievement than this? Those photographs splashing, and the entire right-wing ecosystem is going to be energized, and they will come out with their own narrative. So what after that? What after the Madison Square Garden event?
So it is going to help them domestically in India for sure. They are going to see one of the things with the Andhbhaks. The Andhbhaks have really earned their title, which means they will probably only watch and right-wing media, which will portray this as a phenomenally successful event, right? Most of America has now become Sanatani or something like that, thanks to Mohan Bhagwat's speech. But what it has also done is triggered a lot of interest. I have already got requests from high school students who want to write papers on Hindu nationalism. They want to know what it is. And then there are people who are coming and asking. And, my answer to all of these students is standard. I said, look at what the number 2 guy said when he came to Washington. Dattatreya himself said, I know people here think that we are the KKK of India. That's how we started. And yes, people will think now that you are the KKK of India, and the KKK at its worst, not currently. So I think that this has been a big mistake. Look, what Mohan Bhagwat has done is try to copy Modi's strategy. Modi has used the Ministry of External Affairs as an event management company that has promoted his image among the diaspora, and that has been beneficial. We know that literally hundreds of millions of dollars go from the Indian diaspora to BJP, especially during elections. We even read stories about how many Indian Americans went back to campaign for Modi. These are foreign money, by the way, okay? RSS should not be getting foreign money if India is so opposed to foreign money. But they're not only spending money to ensure that BJP wins, but they go and campaign. And you know something about the Indian diaspora, Nilu, it is profoundly, profoundly hypocritical. Everywhere in the West, they vote for the left. Right now, in the US Congress, there are 6 Indians who are members of the US Congress. All of them are from the Democratic Party, none of them from the Republican Party. And there will be only 4 in February because 2 of them lost their primaries. But what I'm trying to say is that when they live abroad, they vote for the left. And in India, they support the right. Because and I must tell you that there's something sinister about the Indian diaspora, because after living here for a while, being highly educated, they understand the dangers of right-wing neo-Nazi KKK type groups. And you don't have to have a 3-digit IQ to connect what RSS, Bajrang Dal, they are the similar violent faces of right-wing activism. So they are deliberately opposing those right-wing activists here in the US and Europe and UK, but they are supporting that in India. That suggests to me a lack of good faith among the diaspora. And so all their pretenses that, we are universalists, we believe in Vasudeva Kutumbakam. No, you don't. First, you exclude half the population of the planet. Women are not part of the family, right? As far as RSS is concerned. And what is amazing to me is how this is not a big issue in India. When Beti Bachao and all of these naras that
Thanks
Modi...
to the media. Thanks to the legacy media.
I mean, they should just hound them to death until they open it up for women. I can tell you that, look, there are lots and lots of women from that female actress, I don't know, Kangana Ranaut, to Smita Irani and all, who are like more RSS than RSS themselves, right? So they will strengthen themselves if they open up. But the fact that their ideological orientation is so exclusive is that it is just an upper caste, an upper class, and patriarchal organization.
Absolutely.